John Cusack was every teenage girl's Hollywood crush back in the early 2000s. His good looks and even better acting skills won the hearts of film lovers worldwide.
Give you a kiss goodbye, but I don't want to give you my spinal meningitis. Get out of here.
But the actor has suddenly disappeared from our screens. After massive hits upon hits, why has John's career gone down? Rumor has it that the actor has been deliberately pushed aside after he refused to be a part of Hollywood's notorious culture.
I didn't really believe in the celebrity culture. I never got wrapped up in that part of it. That's probably the only thing I'll give myself credit for.
It appears John Cusack has finally revealed how and why Hollywood has silenced him, and it's shocking to say the least. So let's get into it. John Cusack had taken the whole film industry by storm as the rising leading man after his roles in High Fidelity and being John Malkovich. With a pretty face and acting skills, he was getting cast left and right. At one point, it seemed like he would become one of the biggest actors of his time. People loved his looks and his movies were easy hits. One person wrote, "How freaking handsome cute was John Cusack in the 80s?" Seriously, magazines called him the perfect leading man because he was himself so unattached to the title. People loved him because he was so effortlessly cool. Definitely the main lead. John Cusack was once king of the romantic comedy because he was all wrong for the role. He himself had different opinions. He didn't like being molded into a single role. But Hollywood doesn't seem to encourage art or experimentation. They want you to be a straight leading man, but your instinct is to do weirder stuff. John's streak of success was quickly broken after he revealed his real thoughts about the industry. Turns out, it isn't the romantic comedies he hates. In fact, he isn't a fan of the present industry at all. The once heartthrob talked about Hollywood's obsession with young actors and actresses and how quickly anyone past their prime is discarded. He says the industry does not honor its stars and only keeps them as long as they are beneficial. "I got another 15-20 years before they say I'm old." For women, it's brutal. Bruce's thing about if you're 26, you're menopausal. It's only absurd because it's a little bit further than the truth. I have actress friends who are being put out to pasture at 29. They just want to open up another can of Hot 22. It's becoming almost like kiddie. It's weird. The High Fidelity star says the industry ruins any new actor who comes there with a dream. The actor thinks Hollywood is no longer a safe place for young actors as it exploits them and hurts them. The culture just eats young actors up and spits them out. It's a hard thing to survive without finding a safe harbor. Hollywood might have forgiven the actor for his transgressions had he stopped here, but John isn't one to back down from what he believes in. In one interview, he revealed exactly what he believes about the industry, and apparently the Hollywood elites weren't ready for this kind of honesty. The actor said, "You can't make it up. It's a house, and people go mad." John's bombshell interview seems to have confirmed his place in Hollywood's vault of forgotten actors. But this hasn't stopped John from speaking out. He broke down Hollywood and its greed. According to him, there is no place for art to flourish. He thinks the industry is just one big bank that cares only about its profit. He recalls the good old days when directors and producers supposedly had the opportunities to make good movies. "My friend Joe Roth ran Disney until 2000. He made things like The Rock and Con Air to make shareholders happy, but then he also gave 6 or 7 slots to people he liked. I got to make High Fidelity and Grosse Pointe Blank. Spike Lee got to make Summer of Sam. Wes Anderson got to make Rushmore. I had that memory of film, and that's gone." Now, John says it is all just about the money that goes in the pockets of executives. Nobody cares for the craft anymore. Now, it's 6 for them with a committee cutting the film who weren't part of making it and maybe one for you. If I could do something like sell watches in China, then I would do that and just make movies like Maps. John's revelations about the dark secrets of Hollywood don't end here, though. In an interview, he revealed how the industry pushes actors into wearing tights and acting in generic superhero movies for the sake of profit. The actors who refuse to bow down to this rule simply get replaced by others willing to work by the elite's rules, just like John was replaced. He said, "Now they just want you to put on tights. If you don't put on the tights, they just want to get rid of you." John thinks the elites, be it from politics or Hollywood, get away with their exploitation of the middle class. He wrote, "They have played a major part in creating the precise conditions for fascism to flourish, and Dems have sold out the working class for decades. And this kind of bought and paid for betrayal of principles, sick, fairness, historical precedent, any sense of moral or intellectual honesty, the kind of brutal, selfish, horrific actions one only does because they can get away with it. Hollywood is said to be a dangerous place that thrives on exploitation. No wonder the elites and executives cannot stand anyone who speaks out against the sinister practices that corrupt the industry. People point out that other artists have met similar ends after they spoke up against the industry elites. Dave Chappelle is one of those artists that were supposedly silenced. For many fans, his claims that he was silenced because of his refusal to bow down to the Hollywood monster make sense.
I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too was trying to tell you about.
Similarly, Mark Wahlberg was allegedly shut out from the industry after he refused to stay quiet about his religion. Mark might have kept his religious beliefs intact, but he claims he lost his position as a leading man in the industry because of his refusal to play by the industry's rules.
But I do not deny my faith. That's an even bigger sin. You know, it's not popular in my industry, but, you know, I cannot deny my faith.
Brendan Fraser is another actor thrown in the vault because he refused to be silenced about the abuse he faced. Brandon was one of the most popular actors of his time, but as soon as he spoke up about the atrocities he faced in the industry, the offers stopped coming in. He recalled this heartbreaking realization and said, "The phone does stop ringing in your career, and you start asking yourself why. There are many reasons, but was this one of them? I think it was. Fans are still upset about how the elites treated Fraser." One person wrote, "Crazy how Brendan Fraser was a literal embodiment of a prince and Hollywood screwed up his life." Another fan recalled how Fraser's career was ruined because he dared to speak up. Brendan Fraser deserves so much credit and would have been a long-lasting leading actor if Hollywood and didn't straight up destroy him. I'm glad to see him in things like Doom Patrol, and I wish nothing but the best and hope he continues to get work. John's prime seems to be long past, and he is no longer an actor the industry needs. His fans are now all older people who remember him from his earlier days. John recalled an incident where he realized how he had lost his fame today completely. "In the next box over there was a gorgeous girl, young, but she was looking right at me," he says. "I went to go to the bathroom and I saw her get up. I thought, oh, she's going to come and meet me and I'm gonna, I was going to be really flattered, and she was like, I have to take a picture of you. You're my mom's favorite actor." Still, there are fans who appreciate his honesty and courage. One person pointed out, "Good guy John Cusack does silly movies because they have funny titles called Hollywood House and helped found the Freedom of the Press Foundation. How not to love John Cusack." It seems like it's an old habit of the Hollywood elites to discard any actor who they deem useless, especially if someone starts to stand up against the injustice. One person gave the example of Russell Brand and how he is being completely blacklisted now. That's why no one believes what Hollywood elites say anymore. They're not looking out for Americans, they're looking out for themselves. Just look at what they were doing to Russell B 2 years ago. He was Hollywood's funny man. Today, Hollywood is calling him a file just because he doesn't believe their crap. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.